Well, hello there, friends. So today what we're going to be talking about is learning upholstery from a video. Okay, well, I know that there's a lot of beginners out there and there's a lot of veterans out there that watch our videos. But, today we're going to focus a little bit on where do you get started. Okay, so you have an interest, one. Okay, wherever that came from, maybe it came from going to a car show and you saw a really cool interior and you thought, oh, I'd like to do something like that. Or, whatever, some friend or some other influencer, or a video. You saw a video about upholstery. Okay, so this is where we start, right? So second is you start to pursue ways of getting there. Okay, so you'll start watching videos and, what if you even visited an upholstery shop and asked some questions, huh? Well, the way I got my start personally was when I was 11 years old. I discovered that I can paint my neighbors' cars that lived up and down the street. I can paint their cars and they're throwing money at me. Okay, so here I am, this little 11-year-old kid, cruising the best bicycle, wearing the best shoes. I could buy all my best, everything I wanted to buy because it was my money. Okay, so I did that for a few years. I was painting these cars on my mother's driveway, if you can believe that or not, a little 11-year-old kid. So I did that for a few years. Okay, and then I had an uncle who had an upholstery shop. So I started working with him, still making money, even at 15 years old, right? 15 years old, getting started, working for my uncle at the upholstery shop. And I found out that he didn't really want to teach me too much. Maybe he thought I'd be future competition or something. So one of the most basic things that nobody taught me that I had to learn on my own was locking a stitch. When you're putting two pieces of material together, you want to lock the stitch, that way they don't pull apart. Okay, well, even this most basic thing he didn't teach me. So when I did my first upholstery job on my first car when I was 16 years old, okay, it came out really nice, actually. It's really nice, but over time I noticed that the panels started pulling apart, right? Okay, so back in those days we didn't have YouTube, so everything was trial and error. So you're learning and you're doing. Okay, so every mistake you make is something that you're learning. Okay, so hopefully you don't make that mistake again a second time. And even if you do, you'll say, oh, I did that already. What a dummy. Okay, well, because I knew that's what I wanted to do was upholstery, so I bought me a really nice, it ended up being a really super nice upholstery industrial sewing machine. Okay, it's a Chandler Adler, which I wore it out after almost 40 years of using it. But anyway, this Chandler Adler served me well through those decades. And, I was just lucky enough to get the one that I did. Because at the time in the 1980s, the cheap ones were the Consos and the Fafs and the Jukies. We used to call them junkies. Okay? But anyway, I was like elite, right? Because I had this Chandler Adler German-made Swiss watch like running sewing machine. That thing was so smooth. I still think about it. But you know what? I wore it out. Anyway, that's another story. So I got this sewing machine. And you know what? When I first started, I just started sewing anything. I just grabbed a piece of vinyl, and just started sewing up and down it, checking out stitch length, learning about my thread tension. All of this, okay, everything. I'm really self-taught. Nobody taught me anything. Okay, so here I am today making a video about upholstery. So I just want you to know that it's possible, that you can do it too. So once you figure that out, next is patterns. Okay, You got to learn how to make patterns, or how to copy patterns, or duplicate patterns. These are some of the other most basic things that you need to do. And sometimes you might make your pattern a little bit bigger and find out that it's a little bit too baggy, okay? Or you might make it a little bit smaller, you know, a few millimeters even, okay? And it's too small. Whatever it is that you made is too small. But you know what? You made a mistake. You learn from that. A saying that I have is the second one that you make is always better than the first one, right? Okay, and then the third one that you make is always better than the second one, and so on and so forth. And you know what? By the time you're done with that 10th seat cushion, you know, because you already did 9, you know that 10th one is going to look really good, right? Now, another subject. In comments, I get questions all the time. Oh, by the way, okay, if you write a comment, you know you're going to get an answer. You know, in my channel as of now, I probably, you know, I have several thousand comments. You know, I think it was like 6,000 or 7,000 or something like that last time I checked, a long time ago. But anyway, you know what? I answer every one of those. And if you've seen my comments, you'll know that. So once in a while, I get people, they'll ask me questions about how many millimeters for this, or what size do I use for this, or you know, they ask these questions that are like really specific about threads or bobbins or needles or whatever, right? And you know, temperatures and weights and all this kind of stuff. But it's funny, the common answer that I give, because it's true. First thing I say is I'm the it's not rocket science guy, okay? Because I answer back, it's not rocket science, okay? Don't make it so difficult. You know, a millimeter here, millimeter there on a pattern is not going to matter at all. As an example, okay? So don't worry yourself to death. Just do it, you know, just make something. And don't think about technical this, technical that, because it's really not necessary. Oh, do me a favor. Go right now and hit that like button, because when you do that, the algorithm will show my videos more often to more people, and that helps me help you. So like, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, calm down. Okay, so the other comment that I get a lot is about getting started. Like, should I go to trade school? Should I take lessons? And the worst one that I hear that I can't believe people consider is an apprenticeship. Okay, working for somebody for nothing to learn something. Okay, I would say that's got to be the worst thing. You know, sure, you know, you might go to a school and that would be helpful because they'll teach you like some of the basics or whatever. But you know, you got to pay money to do that, I'm sure. Okay, it's not going to be free. That reminds me of a young guy that came up to me once a long time ago, and he wanted to work for me, and he's holding up his diploma. It's from a famous place up in Wyoming. Kind of sounds like Myotech. You probably heard of him. But anyway, he's got this diploma and he's so proud of it, right? Because he finished his course and all. But, you know, I really couldn't help myself at the moment because I just kind of, you know, really when you go to school and you learn something like that, what I've always said is that upholstery, just like a lot of other trades out there, is really only 10% knowledge. That's why I say it's not rocket science. Okay, 10% knowledge? What? What does he mean 10% knowledge? That's crazy. Okay, because you know why? Because 90% is technique that you learn over time. So the only way you're going to do that is by sitting at a sewing machine and making mistakes. So you're going to be sewing something up, sewing something up, sewing something up. You're getting experience. Okay, experience over time is going to help you get there to that 90%. So now we're talking about experiences. Okay, so the experiences that you go through. Okay, smashing a finger, you know, cutting yourself with a razor blade. Okay, hopefully not getting your finger underneath the sewing machine needle, right? Actually, that's never happened to me. I did smash my thumb once with a foot, but it wasn't a needle. Whew. Anyway, these are some of the experiences that you go through. Okay, sometimes you might make a mistake. When I was very, very young, and vinyl tops on cars were really popular back in the 70s and 80s, I broke some windshields. And you know what? You got to take that responsibility. I replaced a lot of windshields when I was young. But you know, those are some of the lessons that you learn with your experiences. And now, you know, when you go to take off windshield chrome now, you know, I take my time and I make sure I know where that hook is going behind the clip. You know, I'm not just blindly going in and you know, because I'm in a hurry or, you know, it's production or whatever. You know, you learn from these mistakes, especially when they cost you. One of the other things, and that is kind of important, but you don't really think about it too much, is organization. Like ordering materials, quoting jobs, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and I'm talking to you with the perspective of doing it for yourself. Okay, not working for somebody. Okay, because when you're working for somebody, you're getting paid pennies on the dollar, because the owner's going to take all the money that you made, right? Because he's got his overhead and he's the boss. But when you're the boss, you get 100%. Okay, so don't make working for somebody your goal. You know, make working for yourself that goal. Because when you're working for yourself, the sky is the limit. And you can give yourself raises. You can give yourself vacations. Okay, you can make all the planning for your life. And you know what? The more money you make, the better it is for you and for your family. Especially if you have a family. Imagine you have a family and kids and all. Why would you give 3/4 of your income away to somebody that you're working for versus 100% of the money in your pocket because you talked to a customer and you agreed on a price on their project? You know, and you know, you gave them a high price and they said, "Oh, is that all?" And you're like, "Oh, maybe I should have charged more." You know, that's the way it is. So, you know, you can write your own ticket when you're running your own business. I also have other videos like the 5 ways to make crazy money doing upholstery. Check that out in my channel. I also have another video about the most basic upholstery tools, so look at that one too. So if you want to see what's possible, you can see it all right here on my website. It's rudolphsupholstery.com, and it's right there in the description. If you click on that link, you'll see 44 years of my work. So, you know, I have hundreds of pictures on that website and some really cool stuff. You know, back in the 90s, I was doing the $1 million, one-of-a-kind, super classics. You know, the Cords, the Auburns, and the Duesenbergs. You know, I was doing Pebble Beach cars, and a lot for like Barrett Jackson. For Craig Jackson, actually, is what I meant. So I've done a lot of the car collections and museums. I have a car in the Peterson Museum in Los Angeles. So, you know, all of this is possible. But you know what? I look at my website, I see all of that. Okay, keep in mind that everything that you see there, I did it all by myself. Okay, without help. Nobody helped me with any of that. So I just want you to know what's possible. You know, if I could do it, you know, this guy with half a brain, right? You can do it. I have a lot of faith in you. Who knows? Maybe even one day you'll have your own YouTube channel. Okay? I mean, I never thought I would be doing something like this. Okay, 42 years I'm doing work, and I could have started a YouTube channel 10 or 12 years ago, and it never even crossed my mind. For me, it was just every day, just doing the work, keeping happy customers. But then I thought, I'm going to give this YouTube thing a try. You'll see my first YouTube video if you go to my channel. I had 0 views and 0 subscribers at the time, and it took me a little while for it to get going. But you know what? You're watching me now, right? So go ahead and make those mistakes, because the more mistakes you make, the more you learn, the better you get. Okay, learning is doing, is what I always put in the comments. So let me know in the comments about some of your experiences. Okay, how did you start in the business? How old were you? Who influenced you? And what were the reasons why you wanted to get into upholstery? Or if you're just starting, let me know, why are you interested in this? And I guarantee you I'm going to answer your comment. So as long as I'm around, I guarantee you that if you write me a comment because you have a question about something or how to do something, I will answer it. Just try it. Well, until next time, we'll see ya.